Karwai, I want to begin by asking you what may be the obvious question, which is when you decided to revisit Ashes of Time, if this is something you've been wanting to do since you made the film originally, or if it came about as a period of reflection over the years, thinking back on the film and changes that you wanted to make.
Actually, I always want to avoid to watch my film again after it's done, because it's always like when you look at the film and you always thought that there's regrets, there's something you can do better. So I always try to avoid it because it's a Pandora box and I don't want to open it again. But we have to do this film, it's because we have to, otherwise this film will only exist on DVD or video versions. And because in 1998, when the Asian financial crisis hit Hong Kong, the place where we actually is the lab where we store our negatives when bankruptcies overnight. So we were informed by the staff, and so we have to retrieve everything before the receiver take over the place tomorrow. By the time we get all the material back to our office, we realize they are actually in not very good shape, and part of it is most of it is not stored properly, and most of them are in pieces. So we decide to do something about it, and because this film, as I said, is very important to us. So we spent the next few years to looking for additional material, alternative materials from like our overseas distributors. And we even went so far to order Chinatown's cinemas in the United States and San Francisco, New York, and try to retrieve some of the materials. By the time when we have all these things in front of us, we know it is not a simple restoration, because there's a part of the film is so bad, it's beyond repairable. Then we decide to do something. We have to not only restore the film, that means we have to cut the film, we have to replace it. And there's some elements, like the sound and the dialogues, which is not able to repair and cannot be substituted, because such like the voice of Leslie, because he passed away a few years ago, so it's impossible to replace that. And so we have to start, it's become like another odyssey. We have to send all the negative to restore them digitally in France and in Bangkok, and we have to do the sound again with our Australian teams, and we record all the music in Beijing.
And maybe you and Chris can talk about, physically what was done with the images in the film. I think one of the things that's so striking about this version is how rich the colors are, and whether this is something that was done with technology that maybe didn't even exist at the time that the film was originally made.
Yeah, when I watched the film, it seems so of this year. And I'm kind of proud of that, because we've talked often, and many people talk to people like us about the interface between digital and traditional technologies. I think we have to embrace them. I think that this film is of this period because it's been produced in this way. But it came from our collaboration, it came from our integrity, it came through the process of the people involved in assuming our vision, or trying to, well, as we do, I mean, one assumes, I had to assume the vision of martial arts. I had no fucking idea what they're doing, So I have to say, make my version and our version of what it means when someone goes boom, and it means boom, the color goes boom, or whatever, or the sky, there's an impending danger, so the sky, the clouds move faster, all that kind of stuff. I think that all of those are the incredible interface, the incredible I made a film called Away with Words. Away with Words means we have to take your words and find a way to use them. It also means that the function of cinema is to find an image that expresses the incredible integrity of a beautiful woman in an incomprehensible situation. The idea that cannot be expressed. How can you say wet in film, in color? What's the color of wet? What's the color of dark? What's the light of night? All this kind of stuff. So I think that the great pleasure to me, by the way, I was secretly watching the film from behind us. I think that we have found this interface, which was that the film is as it was when it was made, and yet the technology and the access that this festival, for example, and this wonderful theater and our collaboration has given us takes it to somewhere special or somewhere new or somewhere unexpected, which may be, but certainly of this time. But it comes from where we were. You're supposed to clap.
No. And Ms. Lin, again, welcome back.
Thank you.
When you think back on the making of this film, and as somebody who worked with so many of the important filmmakers of this generation in Hong Kong and Taiwan, what is your memory of the making of this film and your relationship working with Kar Wai and why that was special?
跟王家卫拍戏呢，其实是一种 torture， 是一种一个折磨，但是精神折磨。但是呢，当你看到这个片子的时候，你觉得哎，很庆幸你拍了这部戏。这个戏的拍出来，你看到的结果。 是你比你想象的好很多很多，是意想不到的好。
Working with Wong can be a torture. However, seeing the film, it is just you've seen it is so good, it's just unimaginable.
我在这个戏里面是演2个角色，一个是哥哥，一个是妹妹，是精神分裂，就是精神分裂的。 其实我在拍这个戏的时候呢，这王家卫也差不多搞得我精神分裂。
The character I play is both a brother and a sister. They're actually schizophrenic side of a character, and while shooting it, Wong made me kind of schizophrenic too.
有一个镜头，我抱着大树，很痛苦的叫，其实是真的那么痛苦。
There's a shot that I was like holding a tree and crying. It was very painful. Actually, it was very painful.
我刚刚在看一个镜头，就是很长的一个镜头，就是说有讲自己一个对白，很长的一个镜头。那我刚刚跟王家卫说，我说我觉得我现在看了，我觉得不太满意我的演出啊，好像是不太好。王家卫说就是要你这样子啊，他说就是要你不知道自己干什么，不知道怎么办才好。 我那个时候大概被王家卫搞得也已经疯了，所以没有什么特别的就是这样子。
There was a shot that I saw. It was a very long shot, and I felt like it was very long. But when I see it now, I just felt the shot. My performance was not good enough. But he said to me, "This is exactly what I want from you. It is something, the feeling I want to capture."